I'm Karen Elgersma, standing right in the middle of the London Chef Cooking School, and you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. On today's show, Dan Kahn is trying to find the star of Grace Point, Nick Nolte. And Sucheta Singh meets an award-winning principal. And Paul Ballstein goes back in time to taste some food inspired by fiction. All that and much more on Go Island.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
Hello and welcome to Go Island. We are cooking with our favorite chef, the London chef, Dan Hayes, today. And I am very excited about today's cooking lesson. Why? Because we're using one of my favorite things in the world, farm fresh eggs. Love it. And you know what I learned from my sister-in-law, who has chickens and gives me farm eggs every week, is eggs aren't just for breakfast.
Absolutely. Well, every meal of the day, an egg is great, and it's the ultimate fast food.
It is, and it's extraordinarily good for you. I did a little research on the egg, and it's one of the best ways to get vitamin D, so a great winter dish when we're not getting the vitamin D from the sun, and the protein in it is so good for you. So such a healthy choice.
What about that whole egg white omelette craze?
I know, remember
bizarre,
that?
wasn't it?
So stupid.
Take out the best bit. Anyway, frittata. Talking of eggs.
Yes.
Frittata.
Is a friend.
We make a frittata every morning at the London Chef. Well, Monday to Friday anyway. So we got quite familiar with making frittatas.
I love it.
And I thought I'd make one with you.
Okay.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
And here's the thing, my friends. This is what a frittata is. It's breakfast, it's lunch, it's brunch, and yes, it's dinner. So you come home from work, you're like, oh, I got 20 minutes to make a meal.
You make a frittata. But also, you make a frittata on Sunday morning, and it sits out for Sunday, and you sort of pick at it as the day goes on.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
That's the great thing.
Yes.
In Spain, a tortilla is a very similar thing. You know, tortilla español, or in Italy, a frittata. So we've got a nice, in this case, non-stick pan. It's really the key for this kind of activity.
Okay.
Pop it on there, and here we have something rather special. Say chorizo.
Chorizo.
Now never ever say it again. You promise me?
I promise.
Say chorizo.
Chorizo.
Tho.
Chorizo.
Good.
Chorizo.
Good.
It felt much easier to say it that way. Thank you, Dan Hayes.
This is a chorizo gallego from Thomas down at Chorizo & Co.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, wonderful, wonderful store down the road. If you said chorizo to him, he'd murder you. Chorizo. So, we're going to slice this up and get this cooking down slightly in our pan that isn't too hot. What we want to do is render out some of the lovely fat and oil. If you look in there, you see,
yes.
you've got pork fat, you've got paprika, you've got some garlic, some olive oil. It smells good, doesn't it?
Sure does.
So we'll get it in there, and we'll help it along with some olive oil. Why not?
Now, here's my question. Somebody said to me the other day, don't use olive oil when you're cooking because it can't get too hot.
Rubbish.
Thank you. Rubbish, my friend.
Really good extra virgin olive oil. You really shouldn't cook with it. You should finish dishes with it.
Okay.
But olive oil in the Mediterranean climate is what's used for everything.
Yeah.
A regular olive oil is used for everything.
Okay. There
So
you go.
people got very confused with this whole olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, canola oil. You know, a regular olive oil you can use for everything.
There you go. I'm so relieved. I thought I was killing my family.
Don't
Okay.
make it too confusing, you know?
I know.
And some onion.
Okay.
Everything starts with an onion, really, doesn't it?
You know how I feel about the onion.
You're rather keen, aren't you?
I am keen on the onion. I think I just love I love it when you're cooking up an onion. It just makes the whole kitchen smell good.
It's great, doesn't it? It smells like a cheap hamburger at the Bull Stadium. You know? You know that? Great memories.
I do.
So what we're going to do is just slice this up slightly. And I'm sure you'll remember, but the reason that you're not crying right now is what?
Because you got rid of something, or what is it? I forgot the reason. You took out the crying
garlic.
bitch.
It's the crying, took out the crying. It's because my knife is really sharp. My knife's really sharp. So I'm cutting the cells as opposed to exploding onion acid everywhere.
Yeah.
So now some onion goes in. And the next thing we want is
Zucchini.
zucchini. top off, bottom off.
And it's so easy to find farm zucchini right now. You go to any place, Mitchell's, Dan's Farm, the public market, you will find zucchini.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. You know, I think all the members of the squash family are delicious, and in here it works incredibly well. And sometimes, can we be honest, zucchini is something that, you know, can be a bit slimy and a bit sort of uninteresting.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So put it in the frittata and everyone's happy.
We'll take some red pepper and just hack this up.
How's little? I always find in frittatas people make the pepper too small.
Yeah, no,
how small do you make it?
No, not too small. You know, you want to cut through this. As you cut this into
See, I like
wedges,
that. Yeah.
you're going to get a chunk. There's no need to go fine and delicate. I don't really like it when you have some sort of like, it reminds me of a Jell-O salad.
Exactly.
You know? Like, all these bits of vegetable like set, you know. You want great big chunks like this, but regardless of how small you cut your vegetables,
what do you need, my friends? Some Vancouver Island sea salt. Absolutely.
Mr. Andrew Shepherd does it again.
You can go down to the Victoria Public Market and meet Andrew himself and get some Vancouver Island sea salt.
That looks like a horrendously large amount of salt, doesn't it?
It does.
But don't be alarmed, we're about to put 12 eggs in. Give those a little whisk.
Okay.
Very nice.
I like whisking because I feel like I'm working out at the same time. This is what I call multitasking. Yeah.
And now we're going to add all of this in.
Nice.
Lovely. A little bit of cream. Because beach season is not for a good few months.
Absolutely.
Why not? Pop that in.
It's for the whole frittata. You're only having a sliver of it.
Well said. Here.
Yeah.
Give that a good mix.
Okay. There we go. Oh my gosh, this looks beautiful.
Here's the magic.
Yes.
One pot cooking.
I love that. I know. See, that's why it makes a great
The pan's
dinner.
still hot. We haven't washed it out. We haven't done anything silly to it. We added a touch more olive oil.
Yeah.
And now all we do is that.
Brilliant.
We let it sit there for maybe 2 minutes.
Yep.
And then chuck the whole thing in the oven.
But first, did you know that Hollywood has invaded Vancouver Island? That's right, Grace Point is being filmed right here. In fact, they were filming right next to my house. I live out in North Saanich. They were filming at our little church down the road. But Grace Point is filming right here, and Nick Nolte is one of the stars, and Dan Kahn hit the streets of Oak Bay to find out if he could talk to the superstar himself, Nick Nolte. Now, frittatas are such a great whatever's in the kitchen kind of meal.
Absolutely.
We're making ours with the sausage and the peppers. What else can you put in a frittata?
All kinds of stuff. So the one I made this morning for our cafe was asparagus, mint, potato and Swiss cheese.
Ooh.
Which is always something that works quite well. I love that mint on a winter's sunny day.
A sunny day.
It works quite well. But really anything. But the key thing is leftovers. In Italy, often they do a frittata di pasta, the spaghetti. You know, a little bit of spaghetti in there works very, very well. You need to put some rebar in your cement. Otherwise the whole thing collapses, you know? So you've got to have some solids in there. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does, and it makes me laugh as well. Now, one of the things that Dan Hayes is amazing at is teaching. You have the gift of teaching.
Thank you.
And so does a principal right here on South Vancouver Island. In fact, she is such a gifted educator that she has won a very prestigious award. So she had to sing with that story. I love when we pause to honor teachers and educators. I think being a teacher has to be one of the most important jobs in the world. Thanks for that story, Sucheta Singh. We're having so much fun at the London Chef today. We have a frittata in the oven. We're waiting for it to come out. It smells delicious already. We have to take a very short break, but stay with us because when we come back, we're going to head to Pender Island to meet yet another chef whose recipes are inspired by a best-selling book. Welcome back to Go Island. We're at the London Chef today, learning how to make a frittata. And I'm right now in the cafe portion of the London Chef. Everyone thinks of you as a cooking school, but for those who don't have time to cook, you've done the work for them.
Absolutely. Come in, buy a few things in a cafe, maybe for lunch.
Yeah.
Or you could buy something in the pantry, maybe to take home and cook some stock or a soup or something like that, and sit down and relax.
There you go.
We're a cooking school, but we're a wonderful space where you can relax as well. And Michelle is always here to help us out.
I know. Hi, Michelle.
We make salads, and we make soups, and we make great sandwiches, and there's always something.
I love it. And I love your big communal table over there where everyone can gather around the big long table. That's the way we're supposed to eat.
I agree with you. Sitting down and eating communally is great.
It
and
is.
That's 18 foot, and it's 500 years old.
Oh my God!
500 years old, piece of Douglas fir. Incredible.
So, stop and pause and eat and enjoy. Now, speaking of eating and fantastic chefs, did you know there's a chef on Pender Island who takes the inspiration from a very famous book series called The Outlanders and creates one-of-a-kind recipes? Paul Ballstein with that story. I love when people take their passion, whether it's for literature or food, and they share it with the world. What a cool story. Thank you, Paul Ballstein. Dan Hayes is one of those people. His passion for food, he shares with us every day through teaching, through sharing. Now the frittata is ready to come out of the oven.
I hope.
I hope. Let's take a look.
Should we see?
Let's
I
see.
think it looks pretty good. You see how it's risen? You see how we put it on a tray
Yeah.
so that we didn't drip oil everywhere? Let's pull this out now. It's looking rather good. And we want to do a wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And it's feeling fairly firm, you know?
Yep.
It looks fairly good. So now we need to, is it loose? Well, we'll hope so. Probably, because we're on camera, it won't work, will it? But you know, of course not. Normally it would.
I know.
You know, take something like that. And then, ready?
Yes. Dun, 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 dun,
Say a
dun.
prayer or something like that, I don't know.
Abracadabra. Look at that, it worked.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's all about the non-stick pan for this, to be honest.
Well, we are gonna try the frittata in just a moment, but we have to take a very short break. But when we come back, we are gonna profile one of our Olympic hopefuls in our Go for Gold series. We've got this beautiful frittata, Dan Hayes. Let's try it.
Yeah, should we cut a piece up?
Yes, we should.
Let's see how we've done here. It's actually nicer to let it cool down slightly, if we're absolutely honest. But I still think that's going to be rather bloody good.
I'm excited.
It's breakfast, it's brunch, it's a snack, it's lunch, it's supper, it's dinner, and it's a midnight little nibble.
You know, I also have brought it to lunch. When I make a frittata for dinner for my family, then it's my lunch the next day with a salad. It's perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much for inspiring us once again to eat simple, think local, eat healthy, and eat, most importantly, delicious. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. We will see you next time. Of course, I took a bite of the sausage first.
Bloody hot.
Oh my gosh.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.